This month's leadership tip is quite often one of the most sensitive areas in the development of ministry to men in the local church. The question is, what should the relationship be between the pastor and the men's ministry leader? What expectations should they have of each other? Well, I want to take a minute and break this up into both types of men. So let me talk to the men's ministry leaders first. You need to remember that your pastor is human. He's not Jesus. I meet so many men's ministry leaders who talk openly about their frustrations regarding their pastor. And those frustrations may feel valid to the leader, but a lot of times they're really not fully understanding all that the pastor might be facing in their work and life. If your pastor is a man, take some time, invite him to participate in anything you're doing. Not as a pastor, but as a man amongst men. And if he's not able to attend or participate, don't think the worst of your pastor, but consider the other realities that he's facing in life and think of ways to support him. It's also important that as a leader, you see yourself as part of the bigger picture of the church. You see, your ministry to men is going to be far more successful and have far greater impact if you discover what the overall strategy is for the church and how your ministry can be part of it rather than operating as a silo somewhere on the side. Talk to your pastor about the blueprint framework. Show him your plans and your strategies and ask if anything needs to be adjusted to fit with the overall plans of the church. Last thing for those of you who are leaders, take some time and pray for your pastor. Have your leadership team regularly pray together for your pastor. If one doesn't already exist, maybe consider forming a team of men who are going to pray before or even during church services for whoever's preaching. Remember, in the mission of making disciples, you're in this together with your pastor. Now, if you're a pastor and you're watching this, I just want to start by saying thank you. The fact that you're even watching this says that you care about the spiritual health of the men in your church and you want to see a healthy dynamic in your relationship with the men's ministry leader. In your relationship with that leader, you are going to need to learn what it looks like to both empower and support his ministry. You have more influence than you might think you have. It's important for your leaders to know that they first have the blessing of their pastor, and then they have also the support of their pastor. Spend some time talking up front with that leader of your men's ministry about what support looks like. What are his expectations of support? What's your idea of support? Get on the same page early in the process so that the enemy has no opportunity later on to bring doubt into your leaders' minds about whether or not you are supporting them. Also, any opportunity that you have to participate in the activities that your ministry to men is planning, please do it. You see, there's something very powerful and very profound when the pastor says, I'm going and I want the men in this church to come with me. Your voice, your actions do model for the men in your church that it's important for them to be growing as men. And while you should not feel the pressure to be involved in the planning and strategizing for the ministry to men in your church, you do need to know that you do set the tone for how important ministry to men is. Your leadership creates a culture for the life of your church. And if you create an overall culture, not just in your men's ministry, but in the whole church that says that men are important and valued, then you're going to help your ministry to men succeed in its efforts because men are going to understand how important it is for them to be growing in their own walk with God. Both the pastor and the men's ministry leader are critical to the success of your ministry to men. You're on the same team. And so be intentional to strengthen your relationship with each other for the sake of the bigger cause of calling men to follow Jesus.